So Battle Hardened Portland was a little over a week ago. And folks, it has been a heck of a week. Spoiler season started, and as it goes in the TCG world, nothing that existed before that matters, right? So I do an event recap now. Well, first, if I'd posted this going into spoiler season, no one would have cared, and it would have gotten exactly 3.14 clicks. And if you got that joke, props, you paid attention in math. But all jokes aside, I'm doing it now because some real awesome stuff went down in Portland, and it deserves attention, and not to be overshadowed by spoilers. So Battle Hardened PDX recap coming at you. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Flesh and Blood folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. Thanks for tuning in for today's recap of Battle Hardened Portland, or Battle Hardened PDX as we'll be calling it, that went down just over a week ago. Obviously, last weekend was spoiler weekend. It was the weekend before that, the Rumble in PDX, whatever. It was a Battle Hardened team event and then the associated PTI the next day. And there was some pretty big names that flew in for that, which I think surprised me, considering I think a lot of the names that flew in, I think already had a PTI, and that's probably what they were flying in for. But you know what? People like to play Fab, and that's awesome. So I know everyone had a really great time. What I'm showing up across the screen right now is a shot of the room. This was taken during the Battle Hardened PDX, meaning the team event. You can see that's why the tables are split the way they are. And you can see some familiar faces in there. If you're from the Portland area, there's a lot of familiar faces. You see Phil, who's our favorite judge, in the back. You see some DC team folks, well, some other folks around. So good stuff. And of course, it wouldn't be proper to talk about this event without giving a shout out to Travis from Fab Foundry, the man, the myth, the legend right here, the man who made it all happen. So thank you, Travis, for all the hard work you did to make this happen. I know that everyone had a great time. So awesome. Congratulations and well done. All right. And also, many of you may have been following that weekend on Team Mai Tai. The boys right here, you can see them with their lovely pink shirts. And what we did is we kind of followed them throughout the day. Now, they ended up getting 9th place, bubbling out with a pretty respectable showing. So Steven on Kano ended up 4-4. Adam on Chane went 3-4-1. And Sean went 4-4 on Rhinar. And what's interesting about it is when you look at because of the way team events work, right, where only 2 of you need to win, you collectively as an individual can end up having a 50% score while your team is actually above 50%. So it's kind of cool the way that works, right, to team events, and not always necessarily, like, again, because there was at least one round where they got swept, right? So everybody took a loss there, but it's still only one loss for the team, right? Whereas they might, as you as an individual might lose one, your buddies win, and then next time you'll win when your buddy loses and the team still wins. It's kind of funny how that works out, but hey, it's a team event, right? That's how it works. Right now, many of you may have seen the recap from LSS, kind of the overall summary, and I'm not taking anything away from that. The top 4 of the Battle Hardened was Dylan Mangini, Marco Marcelli, and Ryan Biggs. Locals, Dylan Mangini, many of you may recognize that name from our earlier ProQuest season. Took that down. We then had in second Chris Frielli, Alexander Vore, and Jonah Overholt. And then third and fourth was Brody Spurlock, Michael Frang, and Lucas Oswald. I don't think anybody's heard those names before. It's a joke, obviously. Don't hate me, folks. That was a joke. And then in fourth place, we had the folks out of Guardian. And actually 2 of the 3 have been on the channel before. And the Guardian, Oldham familiars, Natan, Tristan, and then Archer. So nicely done, folks. All right, so what I have across the screen now is the breakdown of the main field of Battle Hardened PDX. And again, shout out to Travis for getting me these numbers so we could roll them up and make a nice, pretty chart. So I think this is very interesting overall in terms of really showing and highlighting what the Blitz meta as it exists pre-Bright Lights looks like. I do think Dash probably got better. There's a lot of boost cards out there. I don't think that's a secret to anyone. But out of the 108 heroes played in the main field, we had 21 Chanes, 15 Kanos, 14 Kassais, and then 9 Rhinars. We also had 8 Dashes. Now, I warned many of you in previous video that I thought that Rhinar would be higher in Portland. We're pretty loyal following here for some obvious reasons. And we also know that Sant was out there, And right, Nathan Dolman's out here, so we've got Brute Pack in the house, and then we have a lot of loyal Rhinar folks. But roughly 20% Chane, okay, 15% Kano, roughly 15% Kassai. It really starts to, that's kind of what you would expect. A lot of people overall on the field were on the stronger heroes, but not necessarily with the way their teams broke down. So if you have, what I have here are the top 9, right, including Sean, Cowan, and what's listed here is the team captain, right, not necessarily everyone in the team. It's just the way it works. You list the team captain, and then that's, right. And then you have here 1, 2, 3. So Spurlock, Missile Ham Sandwich, Spurlock himself, this was after Swiss was in first. They were running Chane, Briar, and Dash. Natan's team was running Bravo. That was a Fatigue Bravo. Archer was on Chane, and then we had a Fatigue Yoji. Dylan's team was on Kano, Dash, and Chane. Christopher Iolli's team was on Prism, Chane, and Kano. And then Austin Yost, another great local good guy, is on Kassai, Chane, and Kano. Travis Spicer, another local, Kano, Prism, Yoji. Taylor Stewart, another local, Dash, Chane, Dorinthea. Alex Frazier, another local, also a Bravo player himself, but I don't see a Bravo on here. We have Kassai, Briar, and Rhinar. And then Sean's team obviously was Rhinar, Kano, and Chane. That was the team, my type folks. So why I'm highlighting this primarily is you see a lot of the top 3 heroes spread out among this, but there are very few teams that are running all top 3 heroes, right? In fact, are there any that are running just all top 3 heroes? I don't believe there are, right? Now, that's not to say that there weren't across the field, but by and large, you saw teams running 2 of the main heroes and then something that someone else was just good on, right? The Natan's team, who was in second after Swiss, they're all like phenomenal players, right? All 3 of them. They were playing what they knew how to play, right? Archer was on Chane, which you have plenty of reps with. I'm a little surprised he wasn't on Kano because he's pretty good Kano too, but Chane's pretty good. And then when Natan and Tristan, right, they're both old Oldham players, makes sense, right? They were playing what they're familiar with. So stuff like that tracks. And I really like to see that in an event like this, where you have your buddies to prop you up, right? If for some reason you get a bad matchup. So I really liked the way that all turned out. All right, let's go ahead and shift focus to the PTI CC event that was on Sunday. So 55 brave souls decided to go against the traveling pros for this one. Now, hero breakdown on this one, as you would expect, is significantly different. Obviously, it's CC versus Blitz, but it's also single play, trying to play the meta. So we had 7 Dromais, 7 Icelanders, and 7 Lexis. So that's actually pretty, I would say, relatively consistent with what we're seeing, across the meta. Again, this is a high level, pretty high visibility event. Makes sense. 6 Levias is a little surprising to me. 5 Azaleas. I'm really surprised that there were so many Azaleas. The primary reason is she's taking a lot of flack right now with Warmongers being out there. It makes it real hard for her to do what she's going to do. And then pretty much goes down from there. Again, a lot of people showing up. It was a Boltyn. A lot of people showing up running their faves. Okay, running their faves. But again, we're looking at Dromai, Icelander, and Lexi. Okay. So if we go to then the top 8, again, this was taken right from the LSS article. So we had Ponkosh on Icelander taking down the event, Lucas Oswald on Lexi, and then we had Brody on Briar, the kind of the last roll with Briar. Maybe that's why Mr. Ham Sandwich was running that. We had Adam Halmerson Sutherland on Katsu, Alexander Vore on Dromai, Michael Fang on Lexi, Majin Bay on Icelander, and then Spencer Heaps on Lexi. So not too, I'd say overall the names up there are not surprising at all, but I was really happy to see we had a lot of locals in there as well. Definitely repping the Pacific Northwest. So all in all, the PTI event, I don't think was anything necessarily shocking or anything like that. It was kind of fun tracking that and watching it go. Something someone needs to explain. I'm a little I understand why nobody needs to explain to me. I get it, but I'm a little surprised as Uzuri's where she's at right now. I know she has hard time competing with some of the counters. Dromai is a thing that I think, you know, I think when Lexi leaves, I don't know, does Dorinthea come back? It'll be very interesting to see how this goes, but we've got a whole new set that just dropped, and probably the thoughts of speculator are really not huge value. But what I want to do, again, I'll go ahead and throw up the top 8 of the Team Battle Hardened. I really find this event to be fascinating with the way that the teams lined up, right? We really did have... I mean, if you look at it, would have been very easy for folks to just run the top 3 meta heroes on their teams. And that's not what happened. People were running what they thought they were good with, what they knew they were good with. And I think that's really cool. I think that this type of event is really strong in terms of community building. I mean, obviously it forces community of having teams and all that, but, you know, by and large, I think it's just a good thing overall. And anyway, props. So again, congratulations to everyone there. Everyone I talked to said they had a good time. Obviously, I'm biased. People probably aren't going to come like seek me out to complain about it. Fair enough. But I know we have a really strong, good, nice judge community as well. Most of those judges I've met or worked or had judge calls on me in the past or whatever it was, and they've always been really respectful. So I'm sure that was really well done. And then the event itself, of course, run very well by Travis. So anyway, folks, that'll do it. I just wanted to make sure that the Battle Hardened PDX got its due. Cool stuff. So anyway, thanks for checking in. If nothing else, folks, go Commando.